Yeah, we came too far. In the darkest days, don't know where we are or who we are. Yeah, we came too far. In the darkest days, don't know where we are or who we are. Yeah, we came too far. In the darkest days, don't know where we are or who we are.
Planet of the Fakes for Women. And Pig. Star. H. News. Della Reese, touched by an angel, star and R&B singer, dies at 86. Della Reese, who segued from pop and jazz singing stardom in the 50s and 60s to a long career as a popular TV actress on Touched by an Angel and other shows, died Sunday night at her home in California. She was 86. She was an incredible wife, mother, grandmother, friend, and pastor, as well as an award-winning actress and singer. Through her life and work she touched and inspired the lives of millions of people. Actress Roma Downey, Reese's co-star on Touched by an Angel, said in a statement announcing Reese's death, "She was a mother to me and I had the privilege of working with
Sarah, you know we tally up at 4 o'clock. What is your problem? Kiss my ass, sugar.
with her side by side for so many years on Touched by an Angel. I know heaven has a brand new angel this day. Della Reese will be forever in our hearts." Reared in gospel, Reese became a seductive, big-voiced secular music star with her No. 1 R&B and number 2 pop hit Don't You Know, in 1959. The 45, her first single on RCA Records, was a ballad drawn from an aria from Puccini's opera, La Bohème. Quote, "She ranged through a series of releases that showed off her mastery of standards, jazz and contemporary pop through the early 70s, and over the course of her career she received 4 Grammy Award nominations. By 1969 she had launched her TV show, Della, the first talker hosted by an African-American woman, and had begun a move into an acting career that would take her to even greater national prominence." Speaking of her TV and film work with the Associated Press's Bob Thomas in 1997, she said, "I had good training for it. I was always a stylist, a lyricist. I became acquainted with the words in
I've got to watch my girls until the last trick is gone, and I'm not about to ask no customer to roll over so I can punch some goddamn clock.
order to convince you I must believe in what I'm singing. That's what acting is, believing." It was just like one thing flowing into another. After a number of guest appearances, Reese broke into TV full-time with a starring role in the hit 1975-78 Jack Albertson-Freddie Prinze comedy series Chico and the Man. Roles on It Takes Two, Crazy Like a Fox, Charlie and Co., and opposite her good friend Red Fox, The Royal Family. She also took starring roles in the features Harlem Nights and A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, and appeared in 20 made-for-TV pictures. Her greatest popularity came as co-star of the inspirational CBS show Touched by an Angel. Though the show was axed during its debut 1994-95 season, a letter-writing campaign convinced execs to bring the series back, and Reese prevailed as the Heavenly Samaritan Tess for a total of 9 seasons. Winning 7 consecutive NAACP Image Awards as Best Lead Actress in a Drama and collecting 2 Emmy nominations and a 1998 Golden Globe nod. Though she continued to make TV guest appearances and took the occasional film role in the new millennium, she returned to her religious roots as the founding pastor of her own Los Angeles-based church, Understanding Principles for Better Living, or UP. In later years, she was frequently billed as Reverend Dr. Della Reese. She was born Delores Patricia Early on July 6, 1930.
Now this is your place, but I am in charge of the girls. You can just kiss my ass. Oh, baby. Stop it, sugar. Stop doing don't do that. Stop that.
31, in Detroit. She began singing in church as a 6-year-old. The glamorous black vocalist actress Lena Horne was one of the film stars she admired as a girl. By her teens, she was working as a singer in gospel luminary Mahalia Jackson's unit. After graduating from Detroit's Cass Technical High School, later attended by Diana Ross, she briefly attended Wayne State University, but soon moved into music professionally, taking Della Reese as her pro handle. Like homegrown R&B superstar Jackie Wilson, Reese received prominent exposure during an engagement at Detroit's Flame Show Bar. Her style reflected the influence of such jazz precursors as Sarah Vaughan and Ella Fitzgerald. Signed to Jubilee Records, the indie New York label that launched the doo-wop acts The Orioles and the Cadillacs, Reese scored her first chart success with the 1957 ballad, And That Reminds Me, which reached
So, baby, how we doing now? I only make $200. You kissed my ass quick. I don't never say nothing to you when the crap table and the bar come up short. Because the bar and the crap table never come up short, just the girls. Uh-oh. Now, calm down, Vera.
No. 12 on the U.S. pop chart. That song secured her a contract with RCA. She secured the biggest hit of her career out of the box with Don't You Know, and followed it up in 1960 with the similarly styled Not 1 Minute More, No. 16 Pop, No. 13 R&B. Her top charting LP was Della, which climbed to number 35 in 60. Though other major chart hits eluded her, Reese recorded prolifically, frequently in a jazz style, and frequently in a live club setting, for RCA and ABC through the 60s. She was a popular attraction on the Las Vegas Strip during this era. Reese got her first acting break from casting director Reuben Cannon, who offered her a guest shot on the youth-oriented cop show, The Mod Squad, in 1968. Roles on such skeins as Police Woman, The Rookies, and McCloud followed. The first series to show off her tart style.
Oh, you wanna hit people with garbage cans. Now I got to cut you.
Better put that razor away. I ain't playing no more. You put that fucking razor away, I'm gonna blow your goddamn pinky toe off.
Oh, now you're gonna shoot me in my pinky toe.
I'm not playing with you. I will blow that little black, gnarled, crusty, dead motherfucker the fuck off your foot. Now put the razor away.
You must be crazy to pull your gun on me.
You're gonna be the nine-toe havingest limpingest bitch in Harlem. You don't stop fucking with me. Now put the razor away.
Well, go ahead. Shoot, here it is. There it is. Shoot. Quick, go ahead. Take your best shot.
You didn't have to shoot that old lady in the foot, man.
Sugar, she was trying to kill me.
She wasn't trying to kill you. She was just trying to scare you.
The Full Advantage was Chico and the Man, in which she portrayed star Albertson's landlady. The hit NBC show reached an abrupt end with co-star Prince's suicide in January 1977. She subsequently was a familiar player on such successful series as Welcome Back, Kotter, The Love Boat, The A-Team, on which she guested as star Mr. T's mother, Night Court, MacGyver, Designing Women, and L.A. Law. However, it was Touched by an Angel that cemented her TV stardom. With co-star Roma Downey, Reese portraying the acerbic, Cadillac driving supervising Angel Tess, ministered to the spiritual needs of her earthbound search and rescue cases. Reese also performed the show's theme song, Walk With You. After receiving its first season cancellation reprieve, the unique family-oriented show maintained a devoted audience of fans for nearly a decade, and spawned the spin-off Promised Land. Following its final 2002-03 season, it enjoyed syndicated runs on ION, Hallmark Channel, Up and MeTV. By the time Touched by an Angel moved into reruns, Reese, an ordained minister since the early 80s, was increasingly focused on her religious work, with TV and film appearances largely rest-free. See TED to guest shots. She announced her retirement from performing in 2014. Throughout her long career, Reese proved indomitable in the face of serious health crises. In 1979, she suffered a brain aneurysm during a taping of The Tonight Show, and weathered 2 brain surgeries. She collapsed on the set of Touched by an Angel in 2002, and later announced she suffered from type 2 diabetes. Reese's 4 marriages included a brief, annulled union with Mercer Ellington, son of jazz great Duke Ellington. She is survived by her husband Franklin Lett, a film producer and concert promoter. Full video link in the description. Please like, comment.
I had an aneurysm to rupture in my brain while I was doing the Johnny Carson show. For 2 days, I didn't use anything because I was unconscious. But it is what I knew, the knowledge that I had, because that kept me alive. And let me say this, I had marvelous attention. I had wonderful doctors, nurses. My family was of a healing nature for me. I had all of the things that I needed from the human side. But when the doctor would come to my room every day and explain to me why I had to die, I would have to resort to the God inside of me, and I have to remember that my God is a healer. I would have to remember I don't have to die because you said so. You ain't got nothing to do with how long I live. This is between God and I. And I had something to fall back on because of the training I had had. But it was the Christ inside me that healed me and made it possible, because from what they said, I was supposed to be dead before I hit the floor.
Good or well, y'all we good and now. You want a challenge, nightmarehouses.com? You want a versus or more dash econ? The planet of fakes coming up out the speaker? Some cops went to jail.